Hope everybody's okay. So, how's everybody getting on with their worksheets to start with? Let me know. This morning really is pretty shocking. It's not good at all. But I do hope you're all okay. I have got my computer there again, just in case. I know yesterday I saw a few of your comments, but when I actually looked back, there were loads more. So I missed loads. So, yeah. A little lint on my keyboard. So let me know how you're getting on with your worksheets. Don't forget, guys, as well, I need your colouring in worksheets. Send me your colouring in worksheets. I'll send you a certificate, a well done certificate. We've handed a few of them out so far. I don't know, it's showing. I don't know. Could be showing anything, couldn't it? So, rainforests. I've got two animals I'm going to introduce you to today. And again, a bit like yesterday, if you watched yesterday's live, not necessarily from the rainforest, but certainly, my glasses are reflecting like mad today. Must be in a different position. Certainly animals that are very much like the ones we'll find in the rainforest. So I'm just waiting for my notification to come up to let everyone know that I am online. I think it's funny because the internet's just not keeping up with everyone, is it? Just not keeping up with everyone. So it's struggling, bless its little socks. So, just a few reminders. Worksheets are available on our Little Zoo to You live page above. There is a box saying shop now. Click on that and that'll take you to the website for the worksheets. Membership, remember those 4 tiers of membership. We've got the egg tier, the caterpillar tier, chrysalis and butterfly tiers. Very excited about them. I had a few inquiries yesterday, answered a few questions about them. If you've got questions, please do let me know. Amazon wish list, we've got an Amazon wish list. Anything from a bag of hay to those enrichment toys. All help obviously go towards the animals. So, my internet is shocking. Did you hear what I said there? My internet is shocking. It just keeps going in and out. If it gets too bad, guys, what I will do is got you. So if it gets too bad, I will keep on going as much as I can. So I can see now actually on the computer that I have actually got people here. Hi guys. Hi Connor and Katie. Hi Aaron. Hi Eva. So I'm glad we've got a few on. But yeah, it's showing me on the computer but not on my phone. So just do bear with me, guys. I didn't want to have my computer on really because I think it takes up some of my internet. Hi Rich, hi Lily, Rose and Iris. So now I've got 2 screens. I'm actually watching myself, which is really strange. It's really strange when people send me pictures of actually watching me on the big screen. I walked into the house yesterday and my youngest Kieran was sat there watching one of the videos. I was like, oh, it's me on big screen. It's really strange. So guys, worksheets. We're going to be looking at these worksheets today. Find them for you. So we're going to be looking at some of the animals that can be found. But of the younger children's worksheets, we've got these. Now don't forget to colour them in, guys, and send me pictures. That would be fantastic. Now, the animals I'm going to introduce you to today are animals that, if you're in the rainforest, if you're animals that are from the rainforest, they can be quite deadly. Now, when I say deadly, there is an animal that lives there that can reach up to round about 23 foot. I wonder what that could be. Give us a comment, guys. Let me know. Let me know what you think it could be. Let me know what you think it could be. Now, they're carnivores. They are vertebrae. So carnivore, remember, carnivore is a meat eater. Vertebrae, morning Tim. Vertebrae are animals that have a backbone just like me and you, help us sit up straight. This animal definitely doesn't need to sit up straight. Reaching for the water already. So, vertebrae, mammal, vertebrae animal with, who can get up to 20 odd feet. 26 foot actually, I think the longest. I mean, please do feel free to correct me. Now, another thing we're going to talk a little bit about today is, obviously we're talking about the rainforest, a week-long session on rainforest. So it's been in charge because I can just, you know, do a week-long session on rainforest. I do love the rainforest. There's so much that I could tell you, to the point where I don't want to bore you. So I do want to keep it exciting. So when we think about the rainforest, we think about looking after it. We've got to think about conserving the rainforest. Now, very quickly actually, put this one to one side because I do want to know if anyone managed to do the treasure hunt. She says, I've got it here somewhere. You know when you put your things in order? Did anyone manage to do the treasure hunt off your worksheets? I'm just wondering if anyone found anything out about the food they've got in the cupboards or the shampoo, conditioner. Let me know. Comment below, guys, let me know. So, when we look at how we can protect the rainforest. So really today's the last day, so I'm going to try and get as much information as I can in today, because then tomorrow we've got our big quiz. So today we're going to be looking at threats to the rainforest and the animals that are under threat in the rainforest. Two very special animals actually. They're all special. So, threats to the rainforest. Main one is logging. Logging for timber really is a major threat. Whilst in the UK little rainforest hardwood is solid, there is still a strong market for it in other parts of the world and a high price paid for the timber. Obviously, money encourages logging to continue. They do pay a lot of money. Much of the hardwood is used to make furniture. So, comment below, guys, what furniture have you got in your house that is wood? What furniture? Once an area of the forest is cleared, it will probably never recover. So once they've cut those trees down and cleared it, it'll never come back as rainforest again. So once it's done, it's you know, it's irreversible, which is the sad side. Yeah. It's kind of hitting home slowly, I think, hopefully. Be good if it did. And when logging occurs, we've got to think about all the habitat. So we spoke about the 4 layers of the rainforest. Those 4 layers, the emergent, the canopy, the understory and the forest floor. Those 4 layers of the rainforest, if you think about when they're cutting those trees down, those are gone. You know, they are totally gone. So the animals that live, we said how many habitats that live in each area of the rainforest. The habitats that are there are massive. You know, there's loads upon loads of habitats in those stratas, those areas of the rainforest. And once they're gone, the bears that live in the tree, the sloths that live in the tree, the insects that live on the emergent layer, the tree frogs that live in the canopy, the millipedes, this is just ones that I've mentioned, is nothing to compare the real impact of what is actually going on. So, on a lighter note, let's have a look at our animals. So, we've spoke about animals, different groups of animals. In your tortoise, if anyone's met my tortoises, so I've got Tinker and Bell and Gizmo. Gizmo is a European tortoise, so she wouldn't come from the rainforest, but a tortoise that would come from the rainforest is very well adapted to living in the rainforest. Generally, they're actually omnivores. They would eat pretty much kind of slugs, meaning when they eat a slug and you've got to pull it out of the mouth. Ugh. Disgusting. Very cheeky little things. So you've got a tortoise here. And remember, tortoises can be omnivores or herbivores. My tortoises are herbivores, depending on the species. So again, it's how they've adapted. Do you remember when we were talking about habitats? Depending on where they come from. So a tortoise that comes from Europe, but then a tortoise that comes from the Galapagos Islands may have a totally different diet. They've adapted to each of their areas, each of their habitats. Fish. Sometimes we forget about fish. Now, I'm guilty. Pop your hand up if you're guilty of forgetting fish. I am guilty of forgetting fish, but actually when we think about the oceans that surround the rainforest, it's really important that they stay fresh and healthy, because they're actually feeding kind of the water from the rainforest, are feeding into the streams and the seas around the rainforest. So look at our little fish. I think I'm going to colour that one in today, and I'm going to make it a rainbow fish. I might even add a unicorn onto it, so it's a unicorn rainbow fish. And then an elephant. Now we did mention the elephant. That's on your word search question actually. The biggest mammal that lives in the rainforest is our African forest elephant. You can see there. So you could draw and colour lots of different pictures on that. So guys, remember, send them me. Now, I'm going to jump into actually showing you my animal now. Like I said, this animal is a carnivore. They can reach up to 20 odd feet. I'd say odd feet. But they are a reptile. So he's got scales. He's cold-blooded, and he lays eggs if he was a female, as my sister kindly reminded me the other day. And mine is not a rainforest species. Mine is actually an American species. He actually lives in the cornfields of America. Now, with regards to the rainforest species, these would be venomous. A lot of venomous of these animals would live in the rainforest, because remember, the habitat that are there are a lot more predators in there for them. But also, when we think of the prey, so the food that the animal needs to eat in general, everything seems to be bigger there. So they need that venom to bring that prey down, especially if they're big. So again, how species have adapted to living in these areas which are very, very dangerous is dependent on whether they could be just constrictors or they are venomous. Okay, so give me 1 second. That's a lot coming off the door. Not that it's dangerous, my dude. But this is Zeus. And Zeus is my American corn snake. Now, I do tell people all the time that just because he's called a corn snake, do you remember when I said their names can tell us quite a lot about the animal? And just because he's a corn snake does not mean that he likes to eat corn. What he actually likes to eat are the animals that eat the corn. So farmers don't mind having the corn snakes in the cornfields simply because they are classed as a natural pest control, which is fantastic. Natural's always better than pesticides or things like that. Now we can see, wiggling his tail, we can see he's got beautiful markings. He is an animal because he's a reptile. He has scales, and to enable him to grow he has to shed his skin, and that literally means he takes a layer of his scales off. And it's quite amazing actually to be able to see, because a healthy snake will actually literally take everything from the tip of his nose or his snout all the way, even the covering over his eyes, all the way down, all the way out. The only thing that it doesn't actually shed is inside his mouth, literally the edges of his lips and down inside his mouth. I should have had a shed ready to show you actually. I think it's in my van, in my education bag in the van. So you can see he's quite long, but not quite 20 odd foot long. So the snakes that would live in the rainforest, there's one we saw actually. I can't get down and get it. I can get down and get it, of course I can. Why can't I? So going back to when we was grouping our animals, there was a tree boa, a green tree boa. I can't find it. I thought it was that one, but it's not. It was on the younger children's worksheet. Honestly, the amount of papers I've got in front of me, I feel ashamed myself for printing off so much. But I am filling the worksheets out to make sure I use them. But then also, with every sheet we use, I do actually use the back as well. But I'm quite good normally. I'm thinking all the time about my impact and, you know, paper with regards to how much paper I'm using. Now, as we said, Zeus is a carnivore. What does he eat? Anyone want to have a guess? What does he eat? What does he eat? If he's a carnivore. I've just realised I didn't click on my video. I've got ya. My mum got all of the worksheets. Fantastic. Shark, crocodile, cobra. He's not poisonous. He's actually, there's two different types of snake. We've got the venomous snakes, which have fangs, whether it's back fangs or the front fangs, or constrictors. And just like strangely enough, the biggest snake in the world, which is a reticulated python. Also, the anaconda, two that do get very, very extremely long, they are constrictors. So, obviously remembering how they kill their prey. So, a venomous snake will actually bite into their prey and inject that venom. And a constrictor, just like Zeus, when he's got his when he's in the wild, I should say that. When he's in the wild, when he's after his prey, he'll be a stealth predator. So when I say stealth predator, he'll be ace at keeping really quiet. I'd be no good in the wild, but he'd be ace at keeping quiet. And he'd literally slither very quietly, very slowly to his prey. And what he will do is, that will be when his tongue comes in handy. Now what his tongue will actually do is his tongue will stick out. And if anyone's ever noticed, they've got a fork in their tongue, a bit like a Y. Why? I'll tell you why now. Well, when they're sticking their tongue out, the fork actually another adaptation, the fork actually gives them a better sense. Now when I say better sense, every time he sticks his tongue out, he's picking up micro smells, things from the air. And when I'm saying things from the air, every time he's sticking his tongue out, every time he puts his tongue back in, those send a signal to his brain. So in his mouth he'll have a organ called a Jacobson, and what that Jacobson organ does is process all those signals that he's picked up off his tongue, and every time it goes in, it's telling him which way to go. So when he sticks his tongue out, if he's feeling a little bit cold and he's had a good feed, which I don't doubt is probably the reason he's sticking his tongue out now, which does quite a lot. He'll be sensing where the warmest place to go will be. So if he sticks his tongue out and on the left hand side it's a little bit cold, I'll stay away from that way, I'll go right. But then if he's searching for food, what he'll do is he'll stick his tongue out, and if he can pick up that he's smelling, literally picking up little smells, if he's smelling any food, any rats maybe or birds, it will head that way. It'll head the way wherever is picking up the stronger sense on either the right or the left hand side of that fork on his tongue. So it's quite amazing, really. Quite simple though. People often say, does he know you're his mum? Well, to start with, snakes have two main ambitions in life, and that is to survive and reproduce. And he doesn't have the cortex on his brain where he recognises me, so to speak. And that's why I don't really believe that we tame animals. We just get them used to being handled. We get them used to the association. Lucas is not that bad, honestly. He's like, although I should say, Zeus came to me as a rescue, and I've never been a great snake enthusiast. I did actually get offered to rescue a royal python a couple of months back maybe now, and yeah, it's not my cup of tea, but obviously I did find another space for him somewhere else, because I just don't have the area to keep such a snake like that. But Zeus, my corn snake, he's very well adapted to me now, which is ace. And I don't want to say tame, I hate the word tame, it's not a word that I like to use, but he's used to being held by people as well. And a lot of people, totally understand I love animals, and I'd hate to think that will cause them any stress. But one thing, especially when we go to nurseries and things like that, when children is perfect for grabbing, is that shape that your hands fit round perfectly. Thanks, I'm from Yorkshire really, but I live in Lancashire. Lucas just said I love your accent. But yeah, if we go into nurseries, people say, oh gosh, how do you know how tight? Generally my finger will be there when the hand goes round anyway, so I know the pressure. But if I ever, very easy to do, get distracted, and we do get children who suddenly just grip on, Zeus, I know from Zeus's behaviour of if he's feeling uncomfortable, and that's really, really important for me to know that. That's one thing about having the animals that you've got to really pay attention to. You've got to pay attention to their behaviour, and you've got to know, not just, oh, I think he's this or I think he's that. You've got to know if he's feeling uncomfortable, or if he's not happy that is in this situation. Because my job is to obviously make sure, the rescue animals, they're not it's something I'm really passionate about, that I'm trying to do my best by them. But what I've got to remember is he can't tell anybody that he's feeling uncomfortable. He can't tell somebody that that child's got hold of me a bit too tight. Or an old person. I've actually had a situation where I had to really talk around an old lady from having hold of him. Not that she were holding too tight, but she just wouldn't let go. Very enthusiastic lady she were. She were lovely though. So Zeus is an American corn snake. Now, we can see underneath, it's very well adapted to living in the cornfields because it looks like a corn on the cob. But I would never suggest tasting him because I don't think he'd taste too good. Although some places do eat snake, but not a lot of fat on him either. Now, with him being a carnivore, does anyone want to... Thanks, Kira. Kira said he's cute. Honestly, Lucas was just saying it. He doesn't know why he's afraid of snakes. He does like them, but he's afraid of them. I think a lot of our fears, same as spiders, a lot of our fears do come from early childhood, and we sometimes forget. So, with regards to food, if Zeus is a carnivore, his main diet is eating other animals, meat. So what sort of animals do you think Zeus, especially think of a snake of his size, obviously the bigger they get, they are capable of eating bigger prey. So if we just show you very quickly his head, it's not massive. Just show you compared to my thumb. Please don't look at my nails, they are slowly dying off. So we look at compared to my thumb, we can see that he hasn't actually got a massive head. Now, snakes, when we're feeding them, we have to go off the size of their heads. So if we think about the food they eat, so we said he's a carnivore. Julia, he's a American corn snake. So Julia would just ask him what type of snake he is. And we have to make sure we remember that although he's able to open his mouth quite wide, he can only open it so wide compared to the size of his head. So one way we can tell... It's lucky I brushed my hair this morning, Zeus. One way we can tell is we look at his head, and general rule is 3 times the size of his head is how wide his mouth can open. So he actually eats large mice. Now, a total myth about snakes is that they dislocate their jaw. They don't. Definitely don't. What they've got is, they've got almost like 2 little elasticated connectors on their jaw, bottom and top jaw. And what this does is, this allows them literally to open their mouth quite wide. Now, Tim, you'll know what I mean now, but I often get called fliphead. I don't know if any of you remember, but there used to be an advert on TV, and it was a Reach advert, and they flipped their head because I've got a big mouth. But no matter how big your mouth is, you're still restricted, and my mouth certainly hasn't got those elasticated jaws. But also, a snake's jaw isn't attached on their bottom jaw, so it's not fused together. So not only can he open wide, he can open he can open wide that way as well. So it's how he's adapted to being able to eat his food. So I'm just reading, it's not coming up, my comments aren't coming up anymore on my phone. Does he eat chicken? Now, he doesn't eat cooked meat, okay? It's got to be, if you want to say fresh, and chicken, it would eat chicks, but not chicken, not cooked chicken or a big chicken. That's far too big for him. So like I said, for him, I only feed on large mice. Yes, sorry, someone asked, does he eat chicken? He's so cute. Thanks, Ruth. I think he's cute too, although I'm not a great fan of snakes, so sorry to say. Oh, fantastic, Aaron. So Aaron's just saying, I've grown up with snakes. My dad has 2 at home. Aaron, what sort of snakes does your dad have? What sort of snakes does your dad have? I like meeting people who I always learn. I'm always asking questions. Yeah, I like to know why. Why? It's a fantastic question. So, we also said, remember, is a reptile, is a carnivore, we know he eats meat. Three things, the nails are coming off. 3 things that he does have in common with all other reptiles is he's cold-blooded, so he has to get heat externally, okay? His heat, he can't keep himself warm like we can. I totally am keeping myself warm at the minute. Whew. But he has to find external heat. Corn snakes. Oh, fantastic, Aaron. So are they the same colour as Zeus, or are they a different colouring? We do get a lot nowadays of different subspecies of corn snake, just because they're such a popular pet nowadays. Oh, fantastic, Lewis. Lucas was from Oklahoma. Oh my God, I would love your accent too. How amazing is that? Somebody from Oklahoma. Hi. The other side of the world. Lucas, what time is it there, please? Let us know. How amazing is that? So, we're saying subspecies of corn snakes get lots and lots. Ah, okay. Yeah, so you've probably got a different subspecies. I actually had, before Zeus, amazing Sydney. And Sydney was a lavender. He's living with my 2 little boys' dad now. The boys love him. But in this job, you always put the animal first, and some animals will go along fine. Zeus is having regular healthy sheds. And some animals just don't. They get to a point where, I mean, they could even have had a negative experience. Someone might have touched them in a way that they don't like being touched. Someone might have brushed his scales back. They might have hurt him, unbeknown to me. So I've got to make sure, my utmost is to make sure these animals don't come across a negative experience. And if you've ever met me, you'll understand, obviously, I am very protective over the animals. And I call them my family. They are my family. So I've got to make sure that these don't have a negative experience. But poor Sydney, he got to a point where he weren't enjoying, he was showing signs of stress. Like I said, my job is to know that these animals don't have any negative experience. So Lucas is just saying it's 4:34 in the morning. Early riser there, Lucas. So are you guys on lockdown over there? But yeah, so I've totally lost my train of thought. He's cold-blooded and he's external heat, and he's also an egg layer. So he's not a female. Well, when I say he's not a female, I shouldn't say that, because actually, in all honesty, I don't know if he's a male or a female. It's not actually a nice procedure for the snake to find out if he's a male or female. And when Zeus came to me, I don't need to know. I'm not keeping him. I'm not cohabiting. They're not, he's on his own. I call him a he because when the boys decided to call him Zeus, I wanted to call him Kellogg's the corn snake. And I always tell people that as well when I talk about his name. But I don't cohabit him, so I don't need to know. Yes, Terry, I'm still online. I don't need to know, for me, if he's male or female, so I don't see the point in knowing if he's actually male or female. So he's just my Zeus. We've got another snake, and this snake, I wish I couldn't get him out on a live, because I did actually try doing a video with one of the other animals that wouldn't normally come out. Not yesterday, before. And this shirt isn't my normal uniform. This is like my old uniform. And we had an accident, and this animal actually totally went to the toilet all down my top. And I'm not joking, it were absolutely gross. Stunk. He absolutely... Tired boy, Lucas. Lucas hasn't even been to sleep yet. Might have been working. Yes, Aaron. Do you know what Zeus means? Do you know what Zeus means? I don't even know how long I've been on, to be honest. Not too long, 40 minutes. Yeah, let me know if you know what Zeus means. Yeah, I want to call him Kellogg's. He is a beautiful boy. And like I said, we're very lucky. He's been with me now 4 years. Might be longer. 5 years. And the other snake that we got Jack. He is actually a milk snake. Now, another species of snake, which is quite amazing. You would find... I'll just put that... And Jack is actually, on here you can see, that's a coral snake. And there's a rhyme about a coral snake. Hi, Grandma! Sorry, say hello to me, Grandma. Thinking of you loads as well. There's a rhyme about a coral snake, and I can't think about it now. It's red on black, red on yellow, a sorry fellow, red on black, you will come back. I think that's right. Do let me know if it's not right. How long do they live? So Zeus, and a lot of people don't realise this with snakes. Snakes can live for a long time. I want to say around about 25 years, but I have met a lady who had a collection of corn snakes, and she actually had one for 29, 30 years, I think. I said 29. I remember being a bit flabbergasted because I actually remember thinking, gosh, they can live long, as long as me. So I must have been younger than I am now. And I thought, gosh, that is a long time. Don't always realise. Hi, Lee! I hope you're okay, love, and I hope the boys and Gemma are all okay. See, when you're in charge, you can shout out and say hello to people. But yeah, they live for a long time. They're a big commitment, and I don't think people realise that, hence why we ended up with Zeus. When we actually collected Zeus, they were being kept in a hamster cage on straw, which was very bizarre, but it were literally nearly dead, and the girl had said she was scared of him, which, that's the thing about animals. Some people are scared, and if you're left in charge of one, they don't get looked after properly. So what she did was the best thing, rang me up and said, don't fancy taking on a snake, do you? So I asked her a couple of questions, and one question I asked were, how's he feeding? And she said, I don't know, to be honest, because I haven't fed him since my partner left. And I kind of said, well, how long did your partner go? She went, about 6 weeks ago. We're like, right, okay, what's your address? I went straight up, picked him up. To be honest, I thought he was dead. It were a really sorry state. You could see all his spine down his back. It were. Called at the vets, and the vet thought the same. Checked him for heartbeat, and there was a very faint heartbeat, but he was very, very hungry because he fed every day for about 2 weeks, every day for 2 weeks on pinkies, just to help his digestive system. The first week it was every other day, and then the second week he was still eating, because the vet obviously gave me advice on if he's not fed. Although there is some snakes, I should say, there is some snakes that won't feed that long, but the smaller species, the bigger species can get bigger prey. The smaller species obviously won't feed. They will feed a lot more regular. So in the wild, Zeus maybe even possibly 2 times a week, depending what sort of prey they may eat. So Aaron is asking how long can he grow. Now, an average size corn snake will be around about 5 foot, round about the same size as me. So they can get quite long. Zeus isn't quite as long as 5 foot, although people are always quite surprised when I say that. I'd say we're about 4'6". I always say 4 foot in those that way, because they you can always kind of put it to your size. I think it's a good way to show the size of a snake. So, guys, just a quick reminder, you can get worksheets. We have got worksheets on my website, Little Zoo to You. Nope, littlezoo.co.uk. Or at the top of this page, you can click the shop button. That'll give you access to my worksheets. We have an Amazon wish list. If you fancy giving one of the animals a gift. We also have membership, 4 tiers of membership. We have the egg tier, which is £1 a month. We have the caterpillar tier, which is £5 a month. We have the chrysalis tier, which is £10 a month. And then the sponsor an animal butterfly tier, which is £20 a month. Now, obviously, I do understand money is very tight at the moment with obviously uncertainty in the world, but anything will help. Anything, like I said, even just the Amazon wish list to get some of the toys for the animals would be a massive help. So guys, thank you so much. Please tune in tomorrow. I am so excited about tomorrow. Really excited. I can't wait. Got an hair on me. I can't wait to do the quiz. Big quiz. Let's do a big quiz. For those of you that have got your questions, those are there. We're going to do the big quiz, but also we're going to throw some extra ones in as well, just to make it interesting. For those who do come on live and do the big quiz, please let me see you filled in sheets and I'll send you a certificate. So guys, have a fabulous, I nearly said Wednesday then, Thursday, and we will see you 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Be there or be square. TTFN.